I give away spoilers all the time. So like, I almost feel like I shouldn't talk at all.
Javicia, hello.
What's up, Chancellor?
Not much. Long time no talk. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm enjoying this beautiful Sunday.
It's so nice out. It's still sunny out, which is blowing my mind.
Yeah, no complaints at all.
How's the season going so far? Are you guys near the end yet?
Yeah, we're pretty much there. My last day, I have 4 more working days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much finished after Thursday.
How does it feel to have sort of done an entire season as Batwoman?
I feel good. I feel very proud of our cast and our crew, especially because it's not even just like we did an entire season. We did it. I feel like this lighting is it's not that good. It's not even just like we did it. Sorry about that. It's not even like we did an entire season. We did an entire season in the middle of a pandemic. So I'm just really proud of us. And honored to have this opportunity, but we really like it's hard. We're out here by ourselves. So to be this far away from our family and still be able to just completely commit to our work. It's been an amazing opportunity.
Well, I really appreciate you hopping on to talk about specifically about tonight's episode 213. Again, for people who are just joining, we're breaking down tonight's episode, so there will be spoilers. So again, if you haven't watched it, hop off, and this will be up on EW.com tomorrow afternoon for you to watch and hear everything that Javicia has to say. With that said, I know that you're a big Batman fan, so I guess, how did you react when you found out this episode would feature both Clue Master and Stephanie Brown sort of making their first live-action appearances?
I think it's cool. I'm really excited because there's going to be a few more of these type of amazing surprises. Not only in the season, but especially next season as well. So I'm just really excited that we could start now having these beautiful nuggets of, the Batman world really blending in with the Batwoman world. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think you guys are going to like it. There's a lot that's going to happen towards the end of the season that's going to have some true Batman influence in it.
I mean, this is I think we're on a pretty big string of very Batman-y episodes. Last week's episode was sort of that old Batman the Animated Series episode where it's Batman and Harley Quinn teaming up, and just those scenes with you and Alice in the Batmobile were very much Harley and Batman going back and forth, which is really cool to watch. And this episode, again, Clue Master, Stephanie Brown, the Batman trivia, all that. So the Batman energy was very strong with this one.
Very, even some of the questions that were asked, and we talked about Riddler, we talked about Penguin. So yeah, it's definitely this really dope way of being able to bring the two worlds together. And if you're a true Batman fan, you're gonna find little nuggets throughout tonight's episode that it's gonna make you happy.
At this point, are you surprised with the amount of stuff you guys are able to get away with, just mythology-wise, in pulling from the comics?
No, I mean we should be influenced. We should have a little bit more of a comic influence. So it's really cool that we're able to. I think that there's a mix of both worlds because Ryan is created for this show, so it's this mix of new creativity that we have when we introduce Ryan into the cast. It gives you a chance to have something that's really fresh and new, but then to be able to have Ryan connected to anything that's a part of the classic Batman, Batwoman comic, storylines, I think that that's really cool. And that's kind of how the world works, right? We should be able to take new themes and mix them with classic themes and kind of create something that gives you, I feel like I can be in the room and my mom can be in the room and we can find something to connect to with the show right now. Because my mom's a huge Batman fan, so it's a really cool way to mix it all together.
I mean, the other sort of big thing this episode was the girls' night aspect. I think a lot of fans have been sort of waiting for us to see Mary, Sophie, and Ryan just hang out and with not as much tension. I mean, for you, how fun was it to sort of shoot that initial sort of tequila never have I ever seen in the loft?
It was a lot of fun. So we had heard about it before we got to the episode. We heard about it maybe 4 or 5 episodes before it that we were going to shoot it. And so we were all talking about oh man, we get to pretend to get drunk together. And it was fun. I feel like it took a little bit of real life when we're all together. But also still playing in the elements of like Ryan's hiding the fact that she's Batwoman, and Sophie's hiding the fact that she knows, and then Mary just being caught in the middle. But we tried to make sure that we kept it light, especially during the game part. And I think it's fun to be able to throw little jabs, but also still kind of keep it like light and friendly.
I mean, as you mentioned, also sort of like being up until this point, Sophie and Ryan have had this sort of very sort of tense dynamic. I mean, as you're like in that scene, and given how much like you get along with sort of Nicole and Megan just in real life, was like part of you in order to stay in character? Were you trying to sort of hold yourself back from having too much fun with Crofy, or
with Crofy? No, I wouldn't say that. I think that that's a part of acting.
Yeah.
To be able to turn it on and off. But I do understand the idea that like, man, Ryan and Crofy been going at it for a minute. And there's some things that are going to happen soon that are going to allow them to see a little bit more, eye to eye. But definitely in this episode, it really kind of boils over because Ryan has such anger towards the crows. And I know like sometimes I read comments and they're like, Ryan, get over it. You can't, like, I guess if you've never been in her shoes, you can't understand. But
easier said than done.
When you've watched an organization constantly do foul, dirty, messed up things, when you watch this dirty organization constantly do things that they're not supposed to do and call it law, for a person like Ryan who is a vigilante, a person that wants to help people and save people in the right way, it's just very frustrating for her. And so you have this person that's a representation of that organization. And true, there are good crow people, obviously, because Sophie's a good person, but I don't think that's Ryan's point. Ryan's point is, it's great that you're good, but you work for a really bad organization that's doing really bad things. And I feel like that's something that you really should address, and if you're good, maybe you should walk away from this really bad organization. I think that's Ryan's point,
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, like as you said, it's like it's definitely sort of it's easy to sort of be watching here and being saying like, Brian, get over it, but it's like, oh no, you haven't been through that Ryan's been through. And this actually just reminds me then, I guess, and you touched on this a bit. I mean, so Sophie finally comes to me, she's like, Ryan, I know you're Batwoman. Where do they go from here? I guess, how does this sort of, does this sort of represent sort of a thawing in their relationship?
I think that it allows the ability to have Sophie help out more with the Bat team. I can say that, you know what I mean? Because now that they don't have to hide who Batwoman is to Sophie, they have another person that could help. And as of now, Sophie is a part of the Crows, and so maybe that could be a way to have like an inside man. But I don't know. I can't say too much because then I'm gonna give it away. And I'm like, I give away spoilers all the time, so I almost feel like I shouldn't talk at all.
I won't press you too much on that then, but it's one of the things I meant to bring up at the beginning of this also, I think this episode opens with this cool sort of like series of one-ers with Batwoman sort of taking out what was it like to shoot that? I mean, how much of that was you?
Okay, most of it. So what it was is I talked with the stunt coordinator who also is the director of the episode, and he was basically just saying that he wanted his episode to have like this one-er that opens up in the beginning where the camera doesn't stop rolling. And I would just go like, as I'm walking through the building, I'm just like attacking people. And then there's like a few times where there's just things I physically am not capable of doing yet. And if I am capable of doing it, it's like a safety thing where if you don't have to do it, we don't want you to do it. So what we did was we set up these like pillars throughout the scene. And my stunt double, Aisha, does come in at one point, and she does like this thing where she wraps her legs around this guy and she flips him over. That's her, not me. But in the beginning, that's me. And like maybe through the first, I think 3 pillars, that's me. Then she's basically, after it passes a pillar, after the camera passes a pillar, the pillar kind of gives the camera ability to cut if it needs to cut, and if not, Aisha can just slip in and just keep going, so the camera never really has to cut. And so she comes in and she does that like little flip kick, and then I come back in and I finish up the thing off. It was really fun.
Was that the first time you shot a sequence like that, like a oneer like that?
Pretty much. We've been doing I think a few more oneers, but yeah, pretty much. I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That was my first time doing a oneer, I think. And then, it's funny because I was talking to Marshall Virtue, who's our director for that episode. We were just talking about how much my confidence has grown when it comes to being able to do the stunts and feeling confident about them. And I was thinking about the first time I did a full, like a master. What a master means is I'm doing the entire fight from beginning to end. My stunt double doesn't come in. And it's the episode where I fight, where I meet Black Mask for the first time, and he puts me on that sawmill thing. Mm-hmm. And so I come in, that whole bow staff sequence is me.
Dude.
So I was really excited about that.
That's badass, just because, one, just pulling it off all on your own, like yourself, but two, also because it's cool to see that you getting to put like so much, because I like know that you use bow staff, like you train with that sort of in your real life, and getting to see you put that on display on the show on a weekly basis is so awesome.
Yeah, and I have an amazing stunt double. Mm-hmm. So the dope part about it is like she's super, super like just dope, but she also wants me to be able to do more. So it's like there's never like this like weirdness of her feeling like, well, I want to do it. It's always like, I want to teach you how to do it so you can do it. Mm-hmm. You know?
And thank God you already know that you have a season 3 coming out. So I guess I'm hoping we can expect you to take this higher, right?
Yeah. And so I'm going to come back a little bit earlier than when I'm needed. So that way I can start warming up with the stunt team and hopefully get some new moves in that I can use throughout the season next season.
And just to sort of start wrapping up, because we've had you on for a minute. One thing that this episode didn't sort of touch on yet, but sort of the Cersei of it all. I mean, can we expect Ryan to have a rematch with Cersei in the near future?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, right now she's our big villain, you know. Mm-hmm. Her and Black Mask. So yeah, it's so weird. I don't know what I can say and what I can't say, but there's definitely going to be another matchup. Let's just say that. Mm-hmm.
All right. And finally, I mean, the teaser for next week's episode shows you three, sort of you, Luke, and Megan in jail. I mean, what can you tease about 214 and what's coming down the pike in that episode?
I think that 214 is finally going to give Ryan and Sophie an opportunity to hear each other. Mm-hmm. It's definitely going to touch some super sensitive topics that completely connect to what's going on in society. So yeah, I don't know how much I can give, and I should have checked my email before I jumped in, because there are certain things that he told me I couldn't say and I couldn't say, and I've already forgotten what they are. But yeah,
so dude, it's Sunday. It's chill. But
what I'm gonna blame it on, except you're gonna put it on Entertainment Weekly like website. So yeah, no, I it's gonna be a really good episode. Again, one of our own directed this episode as well. It's a very controversial episode, so I hope that it's something more than anything. I hope that it's something we can grow from and learn from. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, Javicia, thank you again for taking the time to hop on and chat. As always, I really appreciate it. I'm loving the season, and I'm so happy that season 3 is ordered and you guys are good to go for next season.
Thanks, Chancellor. It's always great being able to talk to you.
Same. Take care and have a great final few days. Bye.
You too. Bye.